Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ChinUp Career Podcast. My name is Nidal Kaznadar, a career coach and founder of ChinUp. This podcast is all about sharing the best practices, strategies, and expert insights to help professionals like you land their dream jobs and grow their careers. Today, I'm excited to welcome a special guest, Tarek Azoz, a senior program manager at Microsoft, and he has experience working with top companies like Aramco as well. Hello, Tarek. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Nidai. Thank you very much. Thank you for hosting me. I'm really excited.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Today, we're going to explore the top strategies for landing a job at Microsoft. Now, Tarek has experience with Microsoft and different companies as well. Extensive experience working as a hiring manager as well. So Tarek will share with us his experience from Microsoft specifically, and even from his wealth of experience as well. All right, let's dive in. Tarek, can you start by sharing a bit about your journey and the current role at Microsoft?
Yeah, absolutely. So my journey started actually back in Damascus, Syria. I graduated from there. I got a degree in electrical engineering. However, like many other Syrians as well, I never worked as an electrical engineer. My dream was actually to work in something related to computers, but I couldn't study computer at that time. Again, that was back in the 90s. So I went to electrical engineering, graduated, and then, but ever since I was like a student, even like high school and middle school, my father also was really interested in computers. I remember the first computer we got, it was a ZX Sinclair. I don't know if like Spectrum. I don't know if anyone would even recognize that. But it was like an old computer. It was like a small like monitor, like a TV monitor. But that's actually what started my interest in computers. My first job out of college was actually in help desk. Like I said, I didn't want to work as an electrical engineer. My passion was in computers. So I'm like, okay, how do I start? And I started from really, with a lot of like computer science or computer engineers actually, which is help desk. And it was a great actually start because it taught me a lot about, just working with customers and talking to people and trying to solve problems. So that's how I started. And then I became a system engineer on Windows. Back then it was Windows NT4 and then Windows 2000, 2004, 2010. And I stayed working as a system engineer for a few years. But at some point, I got tired of just working with computers and with servers and like in a cold room, not interacting with people. A friend of mine actually had an idea that maybe I should switch careers. And
Mm.
he told me about a field called business continuity and disaster recovery, and because that was his expertise. And when I started learning more about it, I'm like, that actually sounds very interesting because it combined both the technical aspect and the business aspect as well. Because you need to talk to the business users and you need to talk to IT and develop a plan on how to recover systems, processes, etc. And actually made that switch like 5, 6 years into my career.
Mhm.
I can talk a little bit more about that if you'd like, and how I switched my careers.
Yeah, absolutely. And that led you to work with Microsoft as well, right?
That's my current job actually, but actually that's what led me to work at Saudi Aramco because
Oh, yeah.
I had a chance at that time. That was back in 2010. I had a chance to go and work for Aramco for 6 months. It was only a 6 month actually. That was like a contract that I had that had a chance to contribute to, and it was only for 6 months. But it was in December 2010, so
Hmm.
3 months, 4 months before the whole thing exploded in Syria. And 6 months actually became 7 years because I stayed in Saudi Arabia. We couldn't go back. But yeah, my first job in like business continuity disaster recovery was at Saudi Aramco. But when I had that job, I already had the certification that's required because there are several certification that you need to work in that field. One of it is from the Business Continuity Institute, and that's a UK based institute, but it's like more internationally recognized. And then I got another certificate from Disaster Recovery Institute, which is a US based one. So usually BCI is more like in Europe, Middle East, and Asia, and then DRI is like the standard in the US. So I got both certifications, and I had some experience in that field. But like I said, my technical background as system engineer helped me. So when I joined Aramco for that contract, I worked at the IT department there for 6 months. So for Microsoft, I kind of had the same experience I had with Aramco. I actually first joined Microsoft as a contractor. It was a 2 month contract. That was when I first came to the US back in 2018. So it was a 2 month contract, but I found it to be very interesting because when I read the job description, it's like someone got my resume and like wrote the job description based on that. So I applied and I had a really quick call with the hiring manager, and like he hired me on the spot because, like I said, it's just matched my resume.
Mhm.
And then I became an FTE back in April 2020. So I've been an FTE now for more than 5 years. Uh,
Amazing, amazing. Now, you know, Tarek, Microsoft and top tech companies are dreams for many kind of employees or job seekers and candidates. And you were able to land at Microsoft, and you proved to be a great candidate and a great employee with them. That's why you're continuing with them, and that's why they have you as well. Now, what are some key things Tarek, candidates should understand about getting kind of hired at a company like Microsoft?
you gotta stand out. Like you gotta, as you know, and I'm sure you know, and I'm sure everyone has the same experience. Whenever we have any job posting on our website, on our career websites for our team, we got like hundreds of applicants.
Hmm.
So you gotta stand out. Obviously, there's some filtering that goes in the background, some like using systems and tools, but still we receive like a lot of CVs, and we don't spend a lot of time reading those CVs. So if I read your CV, I need to see something that will stand out for me. That say, okay, this person actually is might be qualified and might be good for that position. And also, like your resume also should match the job description. That's what I
Hmm.
mentioned in the beginning when I applied and I read the job description. I honestly did not have to edit my CV because it already had everything that the hiring manager asked for that position. And I see one of the mistake a lot of people do is like they use the same CV or the same resume when they apply to different jobs, and it's like the same they apply, and there's no way that's correct because each job and each position is unique and it's different. So your resume should match, up to a certain level what the job description is talking about. And that's one mistake I see a lot of people do is like they don't take the effort to edit their resume in order to do that. Another thing is I need to see also experience related to the company. So let's say I work, the job is for Microsoft and you're applying and you have like several certifications and like several fields, but maybe with other companies, so not something that's related to Microsoft. I would like to see something that's show me that you are actually interested in joining Microsoft. You have some
Hmm.
certification, Azure, for example, is our infrastructure. I want to see like a certification, like one at least that says Azure, Foundation or any really or something related to Windows or to Office. Again, that's show me that you have interest in Microsoft as
In
a company,
Microsoft, exactly.
not
Great,
just
great.
in this in this position that you're applying for. So that would be my advice is stand out and then do your research about the company and make sure that your resume has information that matches the job description and again aligning with what we provide as solutions.
Got it, got it. Now, now, job seekers stand out, as you mentioned, Tarek, as number one, resume. Their resume should align with the job description that they're applying for, because it's very important. Now, if you don't see as a hiring manager, if you don't see the alignment, they don't see that they are matching, you don't call the candidate for the interview, right? Because they are not the best fit for that job description. So resume is number one, and make sure that you show the interest of this company, let's say Microsoft, like throughout your resume before even talking to people, when you put some certificates and all of these things. Now,
Mhm.
let me ask you this question, and just this question came to my mind. Now, when this is before applying for jobs. Now, sorry, when you apply for jobs before getting interviews. Now, when you get interviews, Tarek, what would be how to stand out during interviews at Microsoft?
Do your research and
Mm,
spend some time learning about the company, about the mission, about the vision, about the solution that I mentioned earlier. I want to see someone who actually spent some time preparing for the interview. I see that a lot of people come to the interview and they're not prepared. Like they are prepared to answer like traditional questions, but then they are not prepared to show me that actually they did their research and they know, Microsoft obviously is a big company and a lot of people are familiar with our solutions and our mission and our vision. But let's say you're going an interview for a smaller company, you gotta spend some time on their website trying to understand, like I said, their mission, their vision, their values, the solution that they are selling or they are creating. You need to be familiar with that. Even if it's like your job is not directly related to what they sell, for example, but still you need to know like what is this company and what they stand, what they sell,
hmm
etc. Something else I also would advise everyone to know, like I said, the value and the mission. For example, Microsoft, one of our core priorities is diversity and inclusion. And all of my interviews, there are at least two or three questions related to that. So I
hmm
will also want to understand and know where do you stand in terms of diversity and inclusion? What does it mean to you? I want to ask about examples. Where do you contribute to diversity and inclusion at the company that you worked in the past, and all of that. So again, that's a core priority, and that's something that is published on our website, on Microsoft's website. So always do your research, spend some time to learn about the company, and obviously, you need to learn about the job. Like, yes, we have the job description, but sometimes there are information also related to that. So I wanna see that you've done your research. When I did my research about Microsoft and about, whenever I apply to job, I will always go to LinkedIn and I will look at the profiles of those who I'm gonna be interviewing with. For many reasons. One of it is to try to see if I have anything in common. Do I have
hmm
anything that can start a conversation? Because interview at the end, it's not just to know about the job; it's to know about the people that you're going to be working with. So I would like look like where did they study? Where they lived before. Sometimes you can even find things about their hobbies, like from their LinkedIn profile, or like their volunteer works, etc. Again, anything that could help me in the beginning of the call, or maybe during the call, where I would throw something like, yeah, oh, I heard, I read that you studied here or that you lived here. Maybe I lived there as well. Maybe I studied there as well. So I always try to do my research about the people that I'm going to be doing the interview with. And obviously, their career and where they spent their careers and how long they stayed, wherever they are working. So I would say that again, do your research. I cannot,
hmm
uh,
Emphasize more on that.
I
That's really
know that.
important.
Do your research. Never show up to an interview not prepared.
Not
Obviously,
prepared.
there are some interviews where you need to have, technical questions as well. So you also need to be prepared for that.
Mm,
Microsoft in general is like, do your research. It's going to be my number one advice for anyone,
got it.
especially for a company like
Yeah.
Microsoft.
And you can Tarek, you can sense it, right? When you are conducting an interview for someone, you can sense if they are prepared or not, right? You can feel
In
it.
the first 2 3 minutes, I would
Oh,
tell you.
wow.
Yeah, immediately you could tell. And honestly, like again, our team, when I started back in 2018 with this team at Microsoft, it was just me and my manager. So it was very
Mm,
small team.
really?
I was the first employee that he hired. Now we have around 14, 15 employees. So our team definitely grew up, and and I was involved in hiring almost all of the members of our team. And I can tell you, like the people we hired, like first 5 6 minutes, like this is the person that actually might work, or maybe this is
Wow.
not the person that might work, because you could again, uh, part of the interview process at Microsoft is at the end, the last person that would do the interview, their only purpose is to see whether this person, the one that we're interviewing, is he or she a good fit to Microsoft.
Wow.
That's they don't ask technical question, they don't ask a lot about, they would just have a conversation and see whether they are a good fit or not. But for
Mm,
us, in the first, because usually there's at least like 4 or 5 interviews for any position at Microsoft. Sometimes it's a little bit longer than that. But yeah, it's you could tell honest immediately, like, are they ready? Have they done their research?
mm,
Are they prepared? Or maybe they are not.
wow.
Yeah,
And even that's amazing and very interesting because even if they are the top candidates for when it comes to technical side, if you see that they are not prepared enough, they have not done their homework, let's say, knowing more about the company and the department and everything, that will not be very kind of interesting for you to continue the conversation because you feel that they don't they have haven't done their job, so they might not be the best person to work with because the interview would be kind of the test. If you are not prepared for that level of interview, maybe in your work, even if you have a good like a high level project, you won't be able to prepare because you don't have that skill, right?
absolutely, absolutely, 100%. And I can talk about my experience. It was a dream for me to work at Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Like working on their solutions, all of that. So when I had the chance to work at Microsoft, I did everything I could to stand out, and because I know, like, even back then, a lot of people were interested also in doing the work. But yeah, to just to comment on what you said, if I have two candidates and one maybe is more experienced and like have done, and like have more established career, but they didn't show me that they are very interested in this job, and the other person is less experienced, but they show more passion, more interest, they know more about Microsoft, about, our vision, about our mission, I will definitely select number two because they have more
Mm-hmm.
potential to be with us and stay with us, because I think all companies, like when they hire someone, they don't want to hire someone that stays there for like 2 3 years then leave. You want this longevity. You want people to come here and build the team. And most of the people in our teams now, in my team, like have been there for a few years because we made the
Mm-hmm.
right choice in selecting those people who want to work at Microsoft and want to work and specifically for our team, and like we both like agreed on our vision on how to grow this team and how to be,
Awesome.
because they are interviewing us at the same
Yeah.
time. Like when you do an interview, yes, we are
Yeah.
interviewing them, but they also want to see whether they see themselves working with us for few more years to come,
Yeah. So it's a two-way street, right? Now,
Yep,
with
100%.
tools, yeah, absolutely, Tarek. Now, with tools like AI and sourcing platforms and everything becoming more common, how can job seekers use these platforms effectively in their search?
I wish we had those tools when I applied for the job at Microsoft back in 2018. I can tell
Okay.
you now, because I came from the Middle East. Obviously, I came from, even though I had working experience in Syria and Saudi Arabia,
Mm-hmm.
but for a lot of companies here in the US, like even Saudi Aramco is not that well known. So I didn't have AI, and I manually applied for like 300 plus
Wow.
positions before I landed what I really wanted, which is the job at
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft. But now we have this really, treasure that is AI that can easily help you do most of the stuff that I talked about. It can help you develop your resume,
Mm-hmm.
evaluate your resume, improve your resume, and also, it can help you, like I mentioned, whenever you apply to a job, don't use the same CV and the same resume for everything. You
Yes.
need to edit it and make sure that you obviously read the job description, what the company is looking for, and your CV should to a way match that if possible. So AI tools like Copilot, like ChatGPT, can help you do that. Can help you edit your CV based on each job that you're applying for. And like I mentioned in the beginning, evaluate and improve your CV. Again, we did not have those tools eight,
Right.
9 years ago, but now there are tools that can help you improve your CV, because now we use a lot of tools. Like I said, we have hundreds of applicants for each position.
Right.
Me as a hiring manager, I don't see all of them. I only see whatever HR is gonna show me, because a lot of CVs just get automatically dropped by those tools. So you want to make sure that your CV has everything that you need, all these keywords, for example. Um, that's gonna help your CV stand out and help your CV get to the to the. I know now there are also, AI tools that can help you also like do the apply, and because I know it's not an easy process,
Yeah.
and I understand that many companies they use different tools, so it is a lengthy process to go ahead and apply for those jobs. So I know that there are some AI tools as well that can help you actually do this part. um, Another part that I mentioned, the research. Now
Yes.
again, AI, like you can put a 50-page document into ChatGPT and say, summarize this for me, and
Yeah.
that will help you. That will help you do your research, for whatever company or position that you're applying to. So use those and to your advantage, and that will save you a lot of time, and obviously it will give you good results as well.
Awesome, absolutely. Now, talking about AI, Tariq, there's a lot of talk about AI replacing jobs, replacing our jobs, and some people are really concerned and worried about that. Now, what is your take on that? Do you see AI as a threat, let's say, or more of a tool for career growth?
It's a little bit of both, to be honest.
Hmm.
I think yesterday or the day before, I saw a clip between Satya and Mark from Meta, and they were talking about AI. And one of the things they talked about is Satya said, like, the plan for the next few years is that 50% of the code is going to be written by AI. And that's for a company as big as Microsoft. That's a
Hmm.
big percentage. I know other companies as well. Salesforce, I think they announced that this year they're not going to hire a lot of engineers. So again, it's definitely a threat if that's your field, but at the same time it's an asset because it is making our jobs easier and it's making our jobs more effective. Now I save a lot of time by utilizing AI tools and all the meetings and the questionnaire and workshop that I do. So you need to use it for your advantage, but you also need to be aware of where AI is now used. And if you're early in your career, maybe think, like, rethink what is exactly you would like to do. There will be jobs that will never be replaced by AI, but I also see that there will be jobs that will be replaced by AI. So
Hmm.
you need to be up to. And we did not talk about like learning and like education, but maybe it's good to talk about it now. You gotta stay relevant. You can't you can't join a company even if you work at Microsoft or Google and you think, okay, that I reached the top. You can't do that, because again, one, you could be replaceable by AI, or two, you could be replaceable by someone who's actually more eager to learn and more eager to stay on top of their work. I've been working since I was 21 years old, and there was never a year where I did not stop learning. I always
Hmm.
tried to learn something new. I always try to stay up to date with the industry that I'm in. I try to join seminars. I try to, whenever, present also, and just learn and keep reading. And, if there's any certification that I need to have, you need to do that. You can't just, stay where you are because we're living in a very fast-paced environment now, and with AI, it's gonna replace some of the jobs. That's 100%. So, my advice is, if you're still studying, like, think again. Maybe my job in 10 years.
Hmm.
What would it look like with AI now being getting more advanced year after year? If maybe your job is, there's a chance that it's going to be replaced, maybe look again. I told you that I switched career, so
Right.
and I studied something completely not related
Hmm.
to computers, but that's what I do. So it can be done. Like, don't limit yourself to just one field or like one way or like one career. Yes, it's harder, but at the same time, sometimes you need some courage just to keep going.
Right, right. Now, Tarek, any last tip? I know you shared with us a lot of useful advice, but is there any last tip for professionals trying to land a job at a big tech company like Microsoft?
Be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Show passion. Show me that you really want that job. Show me that it means a lot to you to actually join Microsoft, or to join our team. I would like to see that. I would like to see someone who's really eager to work with us. I would like to see someone who, already done their research, and they are familiar with what I do, with what our manager do, with, what's the industry. And again, be relevant and be ready to answer some tough questions. And again, I didn't think we talked about that, but let me talk about it a little bit.
Sure.
There are now a lot of tools that help you prepare for interviews. So use those for your advantage as well. There are tools that will help you. Now, like many companies, they kind of use the same way in doing interviews. There are, several methods that the company use, and like behavior questions, all of that. So do your research about that as well.
Hmm.
Be ready to, especially when you join like a big companies. A lot of information is already published on like what the interview is going to be about, and don't feel afraid to ask questions. Like whenever you have this call with the HR, ask questions. And actually, one thing I want to also add as a tip, I don't like it when at the end of the interview I say, "Hey, do you have any questions?" And there are no questions, or there's like one question.
Yeah.
I would love if
And-
you ask me, four, five, six questions. I
Right.
would love that. So definitely ask questions. Don't feel afraid to ask any
Mhm.
questions. The worst that could happen is I would say, sorry, I cannot answer that question if it's something like confidential or like I cannot share. But in 95% of the cases, yes, I would be happy to answer that question. Ask me, about your day-to-day job. Ask me about our plan in the next 5 years. Ask me where what are the projects that our team is working on. Ask me about DNI. Ask me about, how much I'm involved with it. Ask me about, again, all of that are concerns to you. Don't feel afraid. I just don't like it when candidates don't ask questions. So definitely ask as many questions as you can about the interviews. We mentioned that it's a two-way street. And
Right.
yeah, we're interviewing you, you interviewing us as well.
Exactly, exactly. Now, as you mentioned, Tariq, uh, what what the professionals and people looking for jobs need to keep in mind here is you need to stand out. That's for sure. You need to work on your resume and make it uh, aligned with the position that you're looking for. You need to show the interest in the company that you're applying for. You need to show that you are really eager and interested and hungry for the position, the role that you are applying for, and for the company that you are applying for as well, regardless if it is big tech companies like Microsoft or other companies. If you are really interested applying for that job, make sure you show the interest. You show that you have done your research as well about the company. Ask questions during the interview. Don't be afraid of doing that. Talk about the value of the company and use AI kind of also keep like there's you need to stay relevant, right? You need always to keep learning in order to show that, and in order for you to be relevant as well with what's going on. And finally, you need to again stand out. Make sure you do your job. Make sure you prepare for this job search journey because it is a long journey, especially these days. All right, Tarek, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. It was a great conversation.
Thank you, Indar. I really appreciate it. And good luck to everyone in their careers.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Okay.